It's team time. It's team time. It's team time. Hey, hey, hey. It's team time. It's team time. It's team time. Hey, hey, hey. STEAM scholars, Busy and I are ready to explore more about bees. Are you? Let's begin. To begin, we will start by going over the design process, followed by saying what STEAM stands for. The design process is something we, as engineers and scientists, will use every time we create or do an experiment. Feel free to say each step with me. With any project, we are going to A, ask, what is the problem or what am I trying to create or solve? B, brainstorm. How can I solve or make what I'm trying to create? C, collect information, data, or use prior knowledge to help you create. D, develop. Start creating your project. E, evaluate. What works? What doesn't work? And what can I do to make it better? F, fine-tune. I will try again until my design is where I want it to be. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Great job! So, do you guys remember our question from the student question box last video? Well, today we will take a deeper look into the questions from two students at Stanley Hupfield. They asked, how do bees get nectar from flowers? And how do bees make nectar? Do they make it in flowers? Great questions, and thank you for asking. Let's explore. Last time, Busy helped us learn about the different types of bees, the honeybee and the bumblebee. We learned that honeybees love to socialize. They live in a colony that contains one queen bee, a drone bee, which are the male or boy bees whose primary job is to take care of and protect the queen bee, and worker bees, which are the female or girl bees that get food for the hive. They take care of larvae, make wax, build honeycombs, clean the hive, and gather pollen and nectar. We learned that pollen is a fine powder produced by certain plants. Nectar is that sweet substance that is made by some plants so that they attract pollinators. Pollinators are animals or insects that help move pollen from one plant to the next to make seeds. Bees are pollinators, and honeybees use nectar to make delicious honey we eat. Take some time to discuss with your class about what you think bumblebees make with pollen and nectar. Wow, you all gave some unbelievably great answers. Great job. Have you ever wondered how some of your favorite plants, fruits, and vegetables like tomatoes, strawberries, and peppers are made? Well, now's the time to thank a bee, especially bumblebees, who are excellent pollinators. Remember, bumblebees are round and fluffy in appearance. Their round and fluffy appearance helps them collect even more pollen on their back legs, called pollen baskets. How do you think bumblebees' pollen baskets help them pollinate, which means carry pollen from one plant to another? Now that you know challenge time. Last week, we learned that bees have great color vision and are attracted or drawn to brightly colored flowers, such as yellow, blue, purple, and white. Each flower has a stamen and a pistil, known as reproductive parts. When bees land on a flower to gather nectar and pollen, extra pollen attaches all over the bee's body. As the bee flies to the next flower, some of the pollen falls on the reproductive parts and helps make new seeds. The making of new seeds help produce more plants and food for us to eat. Discuss with your class what you think humans can do to mimic or copy the way bees pollinate. Great discussion. Today, we are going to create a human version of the best insect pollinator, the bee, by making a hand to pick up pollen and drop it into another area, just like bees do when they pollinate. For this project, you will need yellow pom-poms, construction paper, scissors, plastic string, straws, double-sided tape, and a pencil. Step 1, you are going to trace your hand using your construction paper and pencil. Step 2, cut out your traced hand from the construction paper. All right, step 3, you're going to cut 3 small straw segments for each of your fingers and 1 long segment for your wrist. For your thumb, you will need 2 small segments and 1 long segment. If you look at your hand, on each of your fingers, you have 1, 2, 3 segments. So that's what we are going to copy. And then a long one that leads to our wrist. And on our thumb, we have 1, 2, and then 1 long segment. You're going to want to line up your straw segments on your hand. Now you're going to want to place double-sided tape on the back of the straws and stick it onto your hand. Do not tape the top of the segment just yet. With this project, you'll really want to be patient. Everything rolls, but keep trying. Remember that you are learning. And don't give up. Do your best. Now we are going to take our tape and our plastic string. You can stretch these a little bit to make them longer. And you're gonna place a little bit behind your straw and then tape it and place it on your finger. Now we are going to string the string along through the straws. All right, now it is time to test out your hand by pulling one string at a time to observe what happens to the fingers. Oh my goodness. My ring finger, my middle finger, my index finger, index finger, and my thumb. All right, so now let's test it out and pull all the strings to see if we can grab some pollen. Pollinate my desk. Try to figure out the ways we can grab. Okay, our fingers are moving. I got some pollen. And we dropped it off to someplace else. Great job, STEAM scholars. Another week of buzzworthy knowledge was explored. Today we learned how bees, specifically bumblebees, play a big role in making the plants we love and food we eat. Think about it. How do the fingers move? How are the fingers like a bee's legs and pollen baskets? Do you think bees drop off pollen when they don't mean to? Why or why not? Bumblebees are excellent pollinators, and thanks to their big and fluffy bodies, they are able to carry pollen all over their body, but most of it goes into their pollen baskets located on their hind legs. We also learned that flowers have reproductive parts that help make new seeds thanks to the bees' pollination. Next week, I will see you on Zoom or Google Meet. Throughout this week, continue to think about pollination. What do you think would happen if we no longer had bees? To get a better insight about bees, your teacher will read The Honey Bee. Remember to write down any new questions or thoughts you have in your design process notebooks. Look over your STEAM career cards. And until next time, my STEAM scholars, be great and keep exploring. Bye-bye.